I, like many others of my generation, grew up with the idea that in order to be informed, we need to watch news. But later in my life, I discovered a shocking truth that I want to share with you. I'm Eric Carrillo, and this is my speech for researching and presenting of the innovative planning pathway level 1. We all are taught that in order to be informed, we need to watch news. Although I believe that being informed is important, I would like to share with you my story on why I consider this is not a good practice. For many years I did this. I loved jumping out the bed, take a shower, and watch the news while I was having my breakfast. All of this right before heading to the office. One day I noticed that I felt stressed out with no reason at all. And moreover, I started to believe that the world was a terrible place to live in, full of murders, violations, corruptions, and drugs. And right there, I understood that there was something wrong with my morning routine because it was generating a negative predisposition on me for the rest of my day. Right there, I realized that there was something wrong with watching news. The media makes us believe that the world is getting worse with every passing day. And this is wrong. On the contrary, according to Chris Wellard, a prominent journalist of Business Insider, indicators like life expectancy, child death rate, the role of women in society, poverty, health, among others, show that the world is now way better than it has never been before. And this confirms that the apocalyptic image that the media is selling to us is false. Another reason for this is that right now the world is more connected than ever before. Right now we can know about things happening all over the world in a matter of seconds. And that gives us the idea that more terrible events are happening now than decades ago, when the truth is that they are far less. The question here is, why do they do this? The media is composed by business conglomerates, companies with their own agenda. It could be political, economical, or both. Media owners can change the perspective basing on the cultivation theory. The cultivation theory was founded by George Gepner, a prominent professor of communication at the University of Pennsylvania back in the 70s. And it basically says that the more time people spend watching television, the more likely they are to believe that the reality portrayed on television aligns with reality. Based on this theory, media owners can persuade people to change their consuming habits, social beliefs, and political views. In other words, manipulating people unconsciously. News stations need to come up with terrible and shocking headlines so it can catch the attention of people, get us engaged, and persuade us unconsciously. Why are we affected by negative news? It is because we are primitive people with primitive instincts. You see, long time ago, millennia ago, our ancestors had to survive in the African savannah. They had to take decisions very quickly based on what they could see around. Amount of water, food, other predators, other threats. They used this data in order to take actions, basically acting on the worst outcome that could happen. If we are constantly bombarded with negative news, we tend to act on the worst scenario that can happen so we can survive. The problem with this is that we are not designed to continue being in these states of alert for long periods of time. Cortisol, the hormone of stress, is accumulated, and that has a negative impact on our mood and emotions. To conclude, I want to persuade you to reduce the amount of time that you spend watching news. You will see the benefits rapidly. We need to be very careful with what we let to get into our minds. Our quality of life depends entirely on the quality of thoughts that we have. 2 years ago, I decided to stop watching news, and it has changed my life completely. My anxiety levels increased, and now I have a positive view of humanity and the world. I believe that humans will continue developing in order to make this world a better place for all of us. I hope you like this presentation, and I thank you for your attention.